Hi, I'm Pascal from Orange Pixel. Finally, sorry, what? Sit down. Sure. I just came to do the weekly video, so I'm not sure what this is. Do you know what source code is? Yeah, I've been a game developer for a few years. Source code is the code that makes every game world come alive. I cannot explain it to you unless you see it yourself. If you take the blue pill, I won't tell you what the source code is all about, and I'll let you go home to your wife, your cats, whatever. If you take the red pill, I will show you how deep the rabbit hole really goes, and I will let you understand the source code. Yeah, sorry, I don't do drugs, and but those are just M&Ms, right? I see the little M. Well, I recognize the M&Ms. Choose. All right, okay. I'll take the red one. Why not? It's a nice day. Let's go for the red pill. Sorry, I'll take it serious. Red pill, please. Hey, I'm Pascal from Orange Pixel, and last week's video I showed you the creation of a tentacled-like creature, an alien that was in the game Space Grunts 2. And today I want to talk a little bit more about what makes these creatures or these aliens move around in the game world, exist in the game world, and make decisions in the game world. So today it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're gonna talk about code, which brings us to phase 1. Alright, so phase 1 is making the aliens appear in the world. The world is created in this case by the computer, randomly generated, but it uses building blocks as I've explained in previous videos. And in these building blocks I specify where aliens can be spawning. And basically the computer decides based on the value. Is it 100%, then we're gonna spawn something there. Is it 50%, then maybe 33%. Most likely not, but it's possible that an alien exists at that spot. The computer then picks a random alien, and that's where the fun starts, bringing us to phase 2. So phase 2 is we now have these blocks and templates all set up. The level generator starts doing its magic. I can't really show all the code of the level generator because there's just a lot of stuff that goes into it, and that's outside of the scope of this video. We're just really focused on the creature part. So when the level generator finds a block that has to spawn an alien, it just initializes an alien based on a couple of settings. Which world are we in? Which level are we in? Should we spawn aliens at all? Because there might be just an event going on where no aliens are shown. So the level generator walks through it. Based on those things, we'll spawn an alien. And that brings us to phase 3, where the alien gets born, I guess, and decides what he's gonna be in life. So let's bring on phase 3. Alright, so phase 3 is where the cool stuff happens. Basically every alien has a set of data points, which I guess you could compare to DNA, and they specify how an alien looks. His weight, his height, his sprite offset or image offset, where the first frames are. But a lot of other things like attack chance, or when do we attack if the player attacks us, or how fast do we run, what's our chance of running. All those things are added to a long list of features, and no game has these features built in. So at the beginning I just had the visual stuff and the weight and the height, and then over time as the game grew I needed to add a bunch of extra features. Those are not set in stone, not every game uses the same type of features. This is just what game developers can come up with. The list is pretty complete right now, but it's possible that I come up with a different type of alien or creature that needs a little bit of an extra information, and then I'll just add that information to all the aliens and can use it in the game level generator. Besides that, every creature or every entity in the game has the modifiers of being angry, confused, or sleepy, and those are just randomly added by the level generator at the time of an alien starting its existence in the game. Bringing us to phase 4. So phase 4 is pretty much the main stuff. This is where everything happens and all the DNA data is used. So what happens is that, well, first of all, the player has to do its move because it's a turn-based game. So the player does a move, then the aliens do their move. So we wait for the player to take a step or something, and then we decide, do we move towards the player? Do we attack the player? Or do we not move at all? And this is all based on their DNA, their chance of movement, the chance of attacking, the strength of their smell. Do they smell the player? Do they see the player? Are they activated by seeing the player? So they don't really move towards the player, they move towards the biggest signal on the map. And often if a player takes a turn, that's gonna be a very loud signal to all the creatures around it. But if you make a bomb go boom, that's a much louder signal, and the creatures will be attracted by that signal just for a very short period of time. So basically aliens decide, should I be moving to the biggest, loudest signal in the area or not? Should I just stand still and wait? And some aliens don't attack at all, they just move around in a little pattern until they hear a signal and are attacked. Then they activate and start attacking that signal, or at least the source of their attack, which is often the player. Basically, if you're a player in this game, you're often very much screwed by all these aliens because they're very, very focused on you. But that's kind of how games work, and that's why you have enemies and aliens and creatures and opponents in games. Which brings us to phase 5, and that's the highlight of all of this. This is where aliens attack the player or the player attacks the alien. Basically, the player can decide if he wants to attack an alien or run away. That's a very valid option. And aliens will pretty much do the same based on their attack chance. So an alien will notice that the player is next to him. It will then just like throw a dice. And if the number is lower than their attack chance, they will attack the player. And if it's higher, they will not attack the player, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter, just as long as a developer, you know, it should be lower or higher. So every alien has a different rate, a different value and DNA. And I've created a creature creator for this, and I've explained it a few weeks ago in the Space Grunts devlog and showed it. And basically in this editor I can tweak all these values and settings and just make certain alien more aggressive, make other aliens less aggressive, and things like that can be tinkered with and tweaked. And the more of these values you have, the more intelligent the aliens might appear to the player. It's not so much about having a lot of intelligence, it's more about having interesting but still predictable aliens and creatures walking around for the player to interact with. So the alien or the player is gonna attack the other one, and that pops up the card battle system. And that's basically where the card battle system starts doing its thing, and the alien doesn't do as much. The only input of the alien into the card battle system is giving an input of what type of cards it has. Every alien has a set of cards, and the card battle system will then just pick these cards based on the health status of the alien or the attack status of the player and things like that. That's just another system, but the aliens moving around, running around, attacking or running away from the player, that's all handled by this data list, and just a fairly small amount of code which handles all the aliens at once. Alright, and that's the alien DNA code explained for at least this game. Every game does it different. This is how it works in this game. I hope I managed to keep it informative and still simple enough for people that aren't coding every day or not very advanced at coding to still understand what's going on and maybe learn something from it. And if you have questions, you know where to drop them down there in the comments, which is of course a great bridge to bring us to the comments of last week's video. Last week's video I created like this tentacle creature, drawing it and then coding it. So let's see what some of you had to say on that video. Alright, first one, Danny van Geel. Sounds like a Dutch guy, maybe Belgian. Hi Pascal, I notice your sprite sheet elements are not padded. Is this safe to prevent texture bleeding when using nearest filtering? Yeah, so not to go too technical on this comment, but in short, my game runs at a low resolution frame buffer. That's where I draw all the images, and that frame buffer is always a power of 2 in dimensions. So it scales pretty much without any weird stuff happening on screen. So that's why it's very easy and very safe to do it this way. Hope that explains it a little bit. But anyway, Sega Astana, great video. A brawler could work better as a side scroller, I guess, like Meganoid or Gunstocks type. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, the last brawler I played was like 80s, 90s. I think I've never been really much into the brawlers or the beat 'em ups and games like that. So that's probably why I dumped the prototype I showed last week. It just didn't go anywhere. Learning code. How do you learn pixel art? And what is game engine you use? The game engine I use is, well, pretty much my own engine, but it runs on top of libgdx, which is in Java, and that's really about it. But really the game engine is my own code, just it doesn't really matter what engine you use. And how to learn pixel art, I don't know. Try learning to draw on paper first, and then pixel art really follows after that. Hula Hool games. It's not about writing clean code, make it work, make it run, complete it, finish it, and do it all over again. Yeah, you can quote me on that, because I really think that a lot of game developers and developers I see are very much into writing clean and perfect code and making it clear, and then refactoring it and rechanging it and over until it's like perfect. But just finish your project. You're most likely not gonna check this code after a couple of years, and if you do, you're probably gonna rewrite everything anyway, so don't waste time on making it perfect. Just make it run. Oscillosor Game Dev. Were you a software engineer before, or you learned to program on your own? Yes and yes. I learned to program on my own way back in the 80s on home computers, first with BASIC, then assembler language, and then moved on through all these systems. And but I've also been a software engineer working for a company, but I learned programming before being a software engineer, I guess. Gamer Rohit. Add some enemies and guns in Space Grunts 2 that were in SG1, so we original players can feel the nostalgia when playing it. There's already a bunch of stuff in there that you will probably know from the first game, so got you covered. VR with Andrew. Hey Pascal, great video. Also wanted to wish you a happy belated birthday. Thank you, and by the time this video goes out, it's very related, but still, thank you. Alright, and that's it for the comments. Leave a comment on this video below. Let me know if you understood the code, if you want to see more of these code type videos. And if you had a nice day, let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye! The result of shooting that intro bit, my whole studio is a mess, so gonna clean up. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. See you next week, guys. Bye.